Good morning, and thank you very much. We're switching gears a bit from regenerative bone to regenerative cardiovascular implants. And I'm going to tell you the story about Xeltis, and we're determined to transform lives and transform the treatment of some devastating diseases. And we do this by developing transformative vessel implants that enable the creation of natural, living, longer-lasting vessels. And why is this now so important? This is important because we believe materials today are at its limits of what they can reach. And conduits that Xeltis is developing will present superior outcomes versus the classical materials. We're focusing on 3 different indications today. And we have our first approval in sight, focusing on hemodialysis access, patients that are facing an end-stage kidney disease. And the ambition is really, after we have been successful in reaching all the approvals, to change and revolutionize the vascular space, and we can solve all disease and bypass disease vessels in the future in the body. What we today have, we have some strong clinical data proving that we have higher patency rates, we can keep these vessels open for a far longer time, and also show an absence of infections. Current materials have reached its limits, as I mentioned. And this is just true for many indications, and one of the indications that is really important, where we see all these detrimental effects, is in vascular access. 4 million patients are facing an end-stage kidney disease failure, which means their kidneys stop functioning. 80% of those 4 million will crash into dialysis. And crashing in dialysis means you need to be connected to a dialysis machine 2-3 times in a week. 500,000 of these patients every year will face an implantation of an access point in their arm or in their legs. But unfortunately, 20% of them already at 6 months face occlusions due to thrombosis, stenosis, calcification, and infections. So a clear indication where something needs to change. But there's also other indications, like coronary artery bypass grafting, where simply no solution exists from an implant perspective. The only solution that exists is harvesting veins from the legs, because simply biomaterials today are at its limit of what they can do in terms of very challenging indications. 1 million procedures are done every year. Harvesting veins from the leg, imagine you can just take something out of the pack that will do something similar as veins. We believe a material change in vascular is necessary and is the breakthrough in the last 60 years in the vascular space. What we do with our regenerative bioabsorbable polymer that gets replaced by tissue as it gets implanted, so a very elegant solution. We're utilizing the body's own bioreactor to restore. We do not necessarily need sophisticated biotech techniques outside of the body to create what the body can do, given the right environment for these cells to host and nest and build up tissue. By the self-healing nature of this technology, we keep these vessels open. These vessels will last longer and reduce complication rates tremendously, as well as infections. We already have more than 140 patients treated with our technology. More than 20 patients have reached 5 years follow-up time. And we have 7 trials ongoing, of which 2 are pivotal trials. The technology has novelty in two areas. One is the uniqueness of the polymer. The polymer is a unique composition that nobody else is utilizing, backed by Nobel Prize awarded science. And the beauty of this technology is that we've been able to tune the degradation rate, the resorption rate versus tissue buildup in a healthy, constructive manner. And this has been a decade of work of science, but we found a sweet spot of what is necessary to repair vessels. but also the way how we manufacture implants out of this unique polymer. We're using electrospinning technique, which provides the nice environment for cells to nest, to home, to repopulate, but also break down in a pro-healing way, break down this material. The lead program is the cold access, the arterial venous conduit for dialysis patients. And it's a large market as we see it growing, unfortunately, by the prevalence of diabetic disease and cardiovascular diseases. And this program is in the pre-commercial phase. It means we're on our way to CE marking. Our pivotal trial is about to close its enrollment this month, and we have our IDE approval for a pivotal trial in the US. And we're starting our pre-commercial activities as we speak. But next in line will be the coronary artery bypass grafting. A significant large market, a vast market, because simply no solutions exist. And we're one of the first companies that show that we can keep with this our biomaterial vessels open for a long time. And then if we can change this, we can actually replace all types of disease vessels in the body, continuing with the peripheral space. So what problem are we solving? Bringing a superior generative vessel for hemodialysis will solve the problem of the non-maturation of fistulas. Because you can, as soon as you need to crash, as the patients are crashing into dialysis, we are able to bring our graft into immediate cannulation. Patients can be on dialysis machines immediately, but we're also bringing superior patency rates, and we see a lack of infection, better than any type of solution. So this program is honestly the next in kind and will become the standard of care in the future. We're leveraging surgical techniques, and this product is also very cost effective, showing already with our first in human trial that we're saving around $20,000 in the first year alone by avoiding interventions and also avoiding any type of complications due to infections. And this is what it looks like. People that think this is another polymeric product, they're wrong. Look what you see in here. You see something that becomes a vessel-like already at the moment it touches the blood. And compare it against an EPTV plastic tube that remains solid, that at the moment you poke holes in it, the holes will remain. Our product will become a soft, pliable compliance vessel over time. Our data shows superior outcomes. What you can already see and what we can share now in a non-confidential manner is our 20 patients first in human trial, where we've shown that all these patients can remain on dialysis for more than a year. Compare that to the existing alternatives for patients. We're already outperforming what's out there today. But also look at our infection rates. It's 0%. And I can tell you with today already doing more than 12,000 cannulations, we have consistently shown the absence of any type of infection. It shows that we're, with our pro-healing immune response that this biomaterial will create, we're fighting these bacteria. Bacteria will not adhere to these materials, and we're solving that problem. Now we are at now 150 patients today, and we're seeing high patency rates and the lack of infections consistently in the pivotal trial. So this will become the clear winner. We know that already. The cabbage is next in line, and you see here with our first 12 months patient data that this small graft, which is constantly moving around the heart with every heartbeat, remains open. This is our timeline. The flagship and the valuation, mostly driven today because we're in pre-commercial phase for access, but it can be significantly larger as we progress in our clinical programs for the remaining indications. The pivotal trial is ongoing. We need 140 patients, 1 year follow-up. Will get us to a PMA approval in the US. At the same time, we're filing for CE marking next year. And starting with our commercial rollout. What we're today looking for, we're extending our runway from the beginning of 2026 to 2 more years to make sure and guaranteeing our FDA approvals, our CE marking, and also the rollout in Europe. And that is what we're currently are after, to target the vast markets in this space. And then remember that this is a versatile platform, a platform that has the ability to replace any type of disease and or bypass any disease vessels over time, with CABG being the next in line. Thank you very much for your attention.